It's nice to see some people joining. This is great. People are starting to come into the gallery. We've got 2 separate opening speeches and things that are going on tonight. We've got the first group is coming in at 7, and they're coming in now. And then we'll have another group at 8:30. So that'll be very cool. And I thought I'd come on. It'll be a little while before we have the opening statement, so I thought I'd come on and just give you a look at what's going on in the gallery, and just a little taste of what's here. We're all distanced and wearing masks because of the pandemic, but it's very cool what's going on. Here's a little look at the actual space. Oh, and there's one of the pieces. This is my work, and then Patricia's work is upstairs. I'll take you upstairs in a minute, and we can meet Patricia, and we can meet Leona, who's here as well, who wrote our curatorial statements, which is very cool. My work is electroetching, and you can see here I've got the negative and the positive plates in my piece, and then I've ended up drawing right into the electroetchings and drawing right to the edge of the paper. The whole series is about a tropical garden in Winnipeg. It was a very, very special place. It was special to me because I've actually grown up in the tropics. I grew up in the Congo in the Ituri forest. And so that was a very special thing for me, that place. And then when they were going to tear it down, you know, I felt so sad about it. So I went and did a lot of drawing there. And over here in this case, I have a whole series of, can you see that? A whole series of my sketchbooks, just so people can see and connect with the actual work that I've done. And then I also included some pieces from my childhood, reminiscent of the tropical garden where I grew up. So I have a whole series of these pieces. And they all have the tropical forests in the background. So I included these pieces so that there would be some sense of why this place in Winnipeg was so very special for me. And because the experience growing up in Congo there was a lot of political instability, this piece is included. And then that's the last one in the series. So as you can see, there's quite a few people who've already come into the space. I've got quite a lot of pieces down here. In fact, my whole exhibition is down here on the first floor. And then Patricia's is on the second floor. We'll go up there in a minute and I'll show you her work as well. Each of the titles reflect, like this one's called Plants Imprinted on Mind and Paper. And this one is Drawn to Draw the Leafy Canopy, because it was a very beautiful canopy in a glass ceiling on this building. It was like a big giant greenhouse. This is Transplants for the Transplanted, because all the plants that were in this garden were from all over the world. And it was a special place for everybody who lived here, and often people who came from other places would come, and it was nice to see the representation of all those different plants from different places in the world. So that was really cool. All right, this gallery, the MHC Gallery, is really quite a special place. It's not your white wall traditional gallery. It's got lots of character. And here, this is my friend Brenna George. We're live on Instagram.
Hello.
Would you like to say hello?
Hi, everybody. I just got here. So
All
my
right.
barcode was loud in.
Okay, good. Oh, I'm glad you did.
Looks great, Karen.
Thank you. All right. This is exciting. This is the first time we've had an opening with real people in 18 months, 2 years. So it's really great. All right. Up here is Patricia Eschuk's work. And let me show you a little bit. She's a painter. Beautiful work. All right. Oh, hello. Leona Herzog is here. She did our curatorial statement for our catalog.
Well, I helped where I could. I love both of these artists. Their work is wonderful, and do get out to see the show. It's really quite spectacular.
Yeah, and once the opening is finished, you can come Monday to Friday between 8:30 and 4:30, or Saturday from noon till 5. The gallery will be open all those times.
We should have some work in the background.
Oh, yes, we should.
Yeah,
Here, let's move over where it's
that's
beautiful.
better. Oh, yeah, that's better, isn't
Oh,
it?
much better.
Yeah, yeah,
There you go.
yeah. And that piece at the end is spectacular.
Let me just turn it around so we can really see the space. The space is just incredible,
Yeah,
eh?
the space is huge.
Yeah, and it really shows off the work.
Yes.
And it's nice with the wood walls. It's not traditional, but boy, some work just really is set off by the wood walls.
I'm more and more intrigued with galleries that are in non-traditional spaces, because I think they're so much more interesting to work with when you have other architecture to contend with. I think that's just a lot more fun and more interesting.
Yeah, it is, and I think it's more inviting in lots of ways. Yeah, but it is also challenging.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
But in a good way.
Yes.
Like it's challenging in a really, you know,
Yeah. Well, it's easy to make all of this work, both the work that Karen did and the work that Patricia did, look beautiful.
Well, I'm really pleased with the installation too. It worked really well. Do you know where Patricia is?
I think. Oh, she's right
Oh, there she is. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, bye.
All right. Here we go. Hi, Patricia. Would you like to say hello to our Instagram audience? Hello. This is Patricia Eschuk. This is her work upstairs. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. Let's turn around so we can get your work in the background. Here we go.
Okay.
And let everybody see this beautiful painting.
This is Passage.
Okay, tell us a little bit about it.
This work was done in the beginning of the summer in June. It came purely from sort of inner muse, whereas the rest of the show was based on sort of the natural environment, things that inspired color and line. This was more bodily, so I painted more of these sort of flesh colors and yeah, I mean, it just kind of exploded.
Okay. Yeah, because a lot of your work is based on trees from the forest that are close to your studio.
Yes.
And you know, that was kind of the connection that we made between our work.
Yes.
Where our concern for the trees and the
environment
and the forests and
yeah, and the real need to just bring awareness to that through art, through the work that we do, just to promote the need for Manitoba forests and trees and natural landscapes, so people find great healing through nature, and it's so important. So that's why I gravitate to that in my work.
And it's so important for the atmosphere. You know, the trees soak up the carbon, and they breathe they breathe clean air for us.
They sure do. Yeah, it's vital to life. Really, our forests.
Yeah,
and
so
we
it's
really need to protect them.
Yeah, super important. So that was a good connection that we had.
Yes, it was
between our work.
It was wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was really cool. So this is cool. We've got lots of people watching us here. Who knew?
Yeah.
This is my. I'll come clean. This is my second live. I've only done two, so and I've never done one when we actually wandered around. So this is really a lot of fun actually.
That's awesome.
And it's nice that you get to see, for people who couldn't come.
Yeah.
Because we could only have a limited number of people because of
unfortunately.
COVID.
Yeah.
And but still, we've got real people in the gallery.
We do.
Which is very exciting. Here, let's turn around and we'll see. Here's a little bit more of the work.
Yeah, so please come.
Yeah, come and actually have a look at this space. You can come anytime. It's open until the 13th of November, and it's open on Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 4:30, and Saturday noon until 5. So there's plenty of choices, and all you have to do is ring the doorbell, and Selena will let you in.
Yes.
So it's pretty cool. And look, there's so many people. especially, we're not used to having all these people, right? This is cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah, hello, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Okay.
It's a fantastic show. It's beautiful.
All right.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, enjoying the work, eh? It is.
Breathtaking. It really is breathtaking.
Nice. I love the colors. I really do. Look at this. There's so much beautiful work. It's really very cool. And so many people. We haven't seen people in real life. This is great. I'm very excited to see people. And here we are. She's got another beautiful painting at the other end. Just absolutely gorgeous work. It was really fun working together. We had a really good time. And what was really nice is we did a lot of phone calls because obviously we couldn't get together in person for most of the time when we were working on this work. Hi, hey, say hello to my Instagram audience.
Oh, hello.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing really good. It's fabulous. You
Oh.
worked so hard.
Oh, we did.
I
We
have
did.
some questions.
Okay, sure.
It doesn't have to be now.
Well,
So,
you can
my
ask one.
question is, okay, so on your print,
Yeah.
where you have two of your prints together, are they both printed or do you have sheets from your sketchbooks as well in there incorporated?
No, they're all printed.
Oh, they are?
The sketchbooks are in the case.
Well, because some of them, the way it was, you couldn't see the indentations. So I wondered
That's
where-
because I drew right into them.
Oh, okay.
So if you look closely, you can see where I drew right into the prints.
Oh, okay. I'll look
Which
again.
which was a little scary for me because that's traditionally you don't touch the prints. You keep the paper pristine, but I went and drew into them. So
Okay.
yeah.
So then my second question is, the one that's darker, the smaller print, that's darker.
Yeah.
What was that second?
Okay, that's see we're doing electro etching, right?
Right.
And electro etching has two plates. In order you have to have two plates to
I
create
knew
the
you
circuit.
told me this, and I knew there was something
Yes.
to do. Okay.
So the darker ones are the negative plate because they attract the metal.
Okay.
The positive plate loses the metal.
Okay, but it was the same print.
It's the same. It's a continuation of the same drawing. So the drawing was I put two plates down in front of
Yeah.
me and I drew on them.
Okay.
But the way they're actually the way the electroetching reacts to them, they look very, very different.
They do.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I didn't
So I was
understand.
creating a narrative,
Okay.
right? I was using the positive plate for what was,
Okay.
and the negative plate to reference the destruction of the conservatory and the tropical
okay.
garden.
Yeah.
And then the drawing was my emotional response.
Okay.
And I've let
it was
all-
very gestural. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
and I let all the drawing go off the edges, just trying to grapple with the whole idea, finality of loss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So that's
You'll have to show me that process again when
Okay.
I'm back in the studio.
okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Okay, well done.
Nice to see you. Thank you for coming. Okay, we're going to get started. So I have to get
You want me to film it? Looks like a lot of people already are.
you. I'd like you to film what's happening, the people. You know, Hey, nice to see you. Thanks for coming.
That you are here and that we are here and that we are able to display art again.
Oh, I can turn it around.
This gallery, the MHC Gallery, is the little gallery that could. It was started 23 years ago by artist and curator Ray Dirks.
I'm supposed to have this.
And the gallery has made many friendships between artists and art lovers, as well as networks between people of all different kinds of faith and all different nationalities. Ray retired this summer, but the gallery is working to carry on his vision for many years to come. We are a program of CMU, and that's the campus that you're on, Canadian Mennonite University, but we are 100% funded by people like you. So thank you very much if you have supported us in the past, and please do feel free to support us now and in the future. And you can talk to Selena Wolf, who is walking around in a blue skirt over there, if you would like to give a tax-deductible donation. And also, if you are interested in buying any one of the works that you see that are for sale, she will process that for you. And now, I would like to introduce to you Leona Herzog, who is the director and curator of the Mueller Gallery at St. Boniface Hospital, and who has curated much of this show. And Leona is going to say a few words and then introduce our two artists.
I feel kind of bad. Ray is hardly out of the building and there's already somebody here making remarks instead of him. So, but I'm delighted you're here, Ray. My name is Leona Herzog and I'm the director and curator at the Mueller Gallery. And it's my distinct pleasure today to talk about both artists who are showing their work. I've had the pleasure of knowing both of them for quite a number of years, and they have both shown their work at the Mueller Gallery, but at different times and at different shows. With COVID, everything has been put on hold. It feels as though our lives have been put on hold. I first started to talk to both of these artists about their work way back in 2019, and everything changed. This show has been delayed for a year, and I think we are all the better for that when I take a look at the work that has been produced. There's a lovely flyer out front so that you can take a look and you can read about both artists, but I'll just say a couple of words about each one of them. Growing, Going, Gone is on the main floor of the gallery here, and this is the work of Karen Cornelius. And upstairs, the show is called Tree, and that's by Patricia Eschuk. And they do have a lot in common. The most obvious is how they deal with plant material, but from extraordinarily different perspectives. When you go through this work, take a close look at the pieces on the side wall there. That's where the story starts. That's where the love affair with lush vegetation starts for Karen. And that was reignited in Winnipeg with the conservatory, which regrettably is now gone, but it lives on in Karen's beautiful work. She'll tell you a bit more about that herself. And upstairs, the show Trees starts with a forest. When you walk upstairs, you'll see a beautiful forest has been installed, and in between the forest trees are paintings. And the trees anchor the paintings, and the paintings grow out of the trees. It's been just wonderful to see Patricia's work develop over the last 2 years. The trees are stunning, but as I see how she's working and what she's been doing with her forms, I see tremendous growth, personal and spiritual growth in her work, and I think that you will agree with me on that. So I would like to introduce both artists. If you want to come to the front and say a few words. Does this mean somebody has to hold your phone, Karen?
I'm going to put it on that stand.
Oh, you're so clever. Okay. Well, we'll wait for you to do that.
Okay. This is the Instagram audience that has joined us. There's quite a few people watching, which is cool.
Yeah, this is really terrific. There are so many shows now that are doing dual openings on Zoom or on Instagram. Right.
There's some technical issues.
Yeah, and it's allowing for a much wider audience. So, Karen, I can hold that for you if you'd like while you're speaking. So first of all, Karen Cornelius with her show.
There we go.
Yeah. All right. Growing, going, gone. All yours, Karen.
Okay, thank you so much. Sorry, actually, you're in the way of the other camera, so that's a problem.
Well, that's a problem. Okay.
The technical issues. Let me see if I can
Story
adjust
of my
this.
life. Think it'll be okay?
I think that's gonna work. Perfect. All right, thank you so much. Okay. All right. So, I'd love to welcome everyone here and thank you all for coming and making an extra effort during these pandemic times. I know it's not easy, and I'd like to welcome again my Instagram audience. Thank you all for responding and wherever you are. It's very exciting that the MHC Gallery has reopened. That is really tremendous. I'd also like to recognize Ray Dirks, who, without his vision, this gallery, this place would not exist. And he envisioned a place where artists and communities would come together in the spirit of respect, understanding, and acceptance, and diversity. This dedication to the vision for over 2 decades has made this gallery what it is. And we are just so blessed that this gallery exists. So thank you so much, Ray. And I wish to thank everyone who made this exhibition happen. Thanks to Selena Wolf, who's the gallery administrator, and for all of the dedication of the volunteers who made this reopening possible, for Lori Matthews, for Danielle Fontaine, and Seth Woodyard. Thanks to my husband, who is skipping book club in order to be here, and is doing some of the photography, and thanks to Brenna George, who is helping with the photography as well. Brenna and I have worked together in a mutual mentorship for quite a number of years. It's been really supportive, especially during the pandemic, when we were able to work together on Zoom for several afternoons a week. I'd also like to thank Corey J. Etienne, who's really helped me with social media and helped me redesign my website during the pandemic. That has been great. And Laurel Perry, who's been helping me with marketing. It's all been really wonderful. But I'd especially also like to recognize Leona Herzog. Thank you so much for writing the curatorial statements, for our catalog, and for the studio visits, and for helping us curate our work for our exhibitions. If you haven't already picked up one of the catalogs, as Leona mentioned, I would encourage you to do that. The statements are worth reading. And I'd also like to thank Patricia Eschuk for her ongoing support, and especially when we had to deal with the disappointment and cancellations of our exhibitions during the pandemic. I also appreciated all the phone calls that we made back and forth that really helped us get through this whole period of time. So my exhibition, which is down here, is Growing, Going, Gone. It was inspired by the abrupt ending of the 100-year-old tropical jungle at the conservatory in Winnipeg in the Assiniboine Park. I'm sure many of you have treasured memories of this place as well. In this series of work, I address that place and the larger human experience of grief, sadness, and loss. Why, may you ask, was I so attached to this tropical jungle? Leona mentioned that it harks back to my childhood growing up in the tropical forest in the Congo, where my formative memories of the jungle environment are strong. My childhood was marred by political instability, yet my fond memories of growing up in the jungle made the conservatory a very happy place for me, especially in the winter. The electro-etchings of this reflect my childhood, and they are hanging on the wall at the end. Once I learned that the conservatory was going to be destroyed, I enacted a daily ritual of bequeathing a form of immortality to these magnificent plants. I sat in this place, I filled sketchbooks, which you can see in this case. I drew directly onto copper plates in preparation for the inevitable closing. I took the copper plates back to Martha Street Studio, where I applied an experimental electro-etching process to simultaneously alter both the negative and the positive plates, using electricity, water, and sulfate. This experimental work was supported by grants from the Manitoba Arts Council and the Winnipeg Arts Council. In the electric etching process, the positive plate produced a nuanced, tonally rich, commemorative image, while the negative plate presents a slightly out of focus, dark, brooding, graphic image, mirroring a sense of vulnerability, grief, and loss. I marked the rag paper with the life juice of the plants and integrated yellow and lilac Japanese paper reflective of the colors of bruising. I created a narrative in each piece. The positive plate speaks to what was. The negative plate represents the destruction of this place, while the drawing onto the paper expresses my emotional connection to this place and spills off the paper in an effort to process the finality of loss. So many people came to the conservatory to say goodbye during the last weeks. People sat down next to me on the bench and shared their stories, memories, and deep connection to this place. People left sticky notes on the board, and then their messages of sadness and memory started to filter into the garden itself, the jungle itself. In the final closing days, you could find them secured to branches and to the tree trunks. If you look closely at each one of my pieces, you will find somewhere in the drawing a small note, an emotional emoji in each piece. The demise of this ecosystem at the conservatory is a reminder for me of the importance of protecting our local trees and forests. This work, inspired by the tropical garden in the conservatory, also became a way to process and address the tremendous losses that we all have experienced during this pandemic. And as Lori mentioned, if anyone would like to own one of these pieces, you can talk to Selena and make the arrangements. Thank you so much for your interest and your support. And welcome, Patricia Eschuk.
I'm not going to talk long. That's why I paint. So I think we've heard a lot of thanks, and I just want to add my thanks to Karen. It's been awesome. Yeah, your enthusiasm and positivity and your incredible expertise with the media. has been very welcome. Thank you very much. It's been an honor to work with you.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. And Leona, what can I say? Leona came to my studio this summer, and I was about to tear my hair out because I had so many different types of paintings. I had all the trees, and then I had the newer works. It was a rough year with COVID this year for many reasons. And the paintings changed, and I really couldn't stop that. So I didn't know how I was going to put this show together. So Leona was incredible. Thank you. Thank you. She wove her magic, incredible eye for seeing how to place things. So when you walk upstairs, it feels like a very cohesive show. It feels comfortable to be in, and that's because of Leona's amazing skill. Yeah. Next, I'd like to just thank all the volunteers at the gallery. You've been amazing in every way. They've really helped pull the show together. Thank you, everybody. A special thank you to staff who isn't here tonight, and Cullen, who helped hang the show. I'm sure they were glad to be done. Yeah. And finally, a very deep felt heart thank you to my family and my friends who gave me so many nudges along the way when I just couldn't keep going. So, a quick little funny story. Well, I'll make it very fast. The exhibit upstairs is from over a 3-year period of paintings, but really it started 10 years ago, the conception of it. At that time, I had just taken a leave of absence from working a lifelong career in physical therapy, and I had been accepted into the MAWA mentorship program for women, and my mentor, Diane Whitehouse, had come to visit me in my studio. It wasn't in Gimli at that time, it was at the St. Norbert Art Center. And my studio wall was plastered with pictures of skeletons and body parts. And she came in and had tea, we had a visit, and I was very excited to talk about the work. And she said, let's go for a walk outside. And I said, but don't you want to look at the artwork? And she said, you know, I don't think that's going to take you where you really want to go. Let's go outside. So we went for a walk in the forest, and we looked at the trees, and I'm like, yeah, but the art. And she said to me, I think you need to go for a walk every day in the forest and let Mother Nature be your muse, be your body. And then she left, and she said, I'll see you in a month. And I remember sitting in the middle of the forest, totally devastated, totally disconnected from the trees, the plants, crying my eyes out. My life was over. Big drama. So you can see 10 years later, I've made quite a connection with the forest. And I really feel that it really helped me in many, many ways to heal. And so when you go upstairs and you're walking through the little bit of magic here, I hope it helps you to connect more deeply with places in nature that you love. Maybe you'll see them differently, colors, shapes, textures popping out. Maybe you'll see paintings in there. And it'll bring a little bit of peace and magic to your life. And that's my hope for you and the world. Anyway, enjoy the show. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Karen and Patricia, and thank you, Leona. That's the end of our formal part of this evening. There is coffee and tea in the in the office. You're welcome to have some. There will be somebody there who will serve you your cup. Also, don't forget to sign there's a guest book. And if you would like to know more about the upcoming exhibits, we have about 6 exhibits a year. You can put your email address and we'll put you on the list so that you can learn more about those. Thank you again, and enjoy. At about 8:15, we will be gently nudging you out the door because we have another showing at 8:30. Thanks again.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us. It was great to have you with us, and I'm really glad you were able to be part of this. I hope you get to come and see the show. It's open on weekdays from 8:30 to 4:30 and on Saturday from noon to 5. I think you'd really appreciate seeing the show in person. So I do hope you get to come, and if you don't live in the area, I'm glad that you got to have a glimpse of what we did here. I will also be doing a virtual tour online in the coming days, and that'll give you a little bit more insight as well. So thank you so much for your participation. All right, good night, everyone.